Hi, my name's Jen, she, hers. I am a mental health survivor. I've been fighting depression for so long, I genuinely don't remember when it started. Um, and trigger warning, I have had suicidal ideation since I was 12. Um, and that was true until very recently, as recent as February. I finally felt like I had the major breakthroughs that were preventing me from moving forward with my life and not feeling stuck in the dark place where I spent most of my life to this point. Um, I wonder how long I would have been there, or if I even would have gotten there, if our culture, our society accepted the fact that we are all human. um, Big secret. We we have flaws. We don't have to filter every single thing we do. We don't have to airbrush ourselves. We don't have to contour or wear clothing that literally restricts our body. And it's clearly I'm stuck on the body image stuff. That's my biggest insecurity. We'll talk about that later. Um, but I want to create a space where people who are willing to be vulnerable, willing to be flawed and broken, can connect, where we can talk with each other, where we can share the stories about that time our car got repossessed because we could not make ends meet, or the months we spent avoiding opening up mail because we didn't want to see how bad the bills were getting. Um, I've been there on both counts. And I've carried a lot of shame and a lot of embarrassment. And just the thought of publicizing this, I felt the blood rushing to my cheeks just now. Like, as soon as I said that it was like I'd had my car repossessed, I have a lot of insecurity around that, and a lot of shame. Um, but then when I actually sit and think through how I got to that point, I can see that I had the deck stacked against me. I was trying to survive in a country that does not care enough about its citizenry to provide universal health care, that does not consider mental health care. It is. Trust me, I almost died from depression, so I can attest. Um, and if we could start talking about the things that we were trained, we're impolite to talk about, things we shouldn't discuss, accepting basic things like the fact that people with uteruses bleed every month, or that everybody farts. There's a great little book about that if you haven't seen it yet. Or the fact that everybody struggles, that no one on this planet is perfect, and no one can live up to the expectation of being perfect. The pressure we put on ourselves and each other every time we hide our pain, every time we pretend that we don't feel isolated and alone and terrified and exhausted and angry and frustrated, every time we slap that smile on and play the part of shiny, happy person, only to turn around and just wish for life to be over. Um, it's it's a thought I had constantly swimming in my head. And now I'm so lucky that I had the most incredible support system to get me through this. I would not have survived without them. They literally saved my life. I know not everyone has access to that kind of support system. And I know it can feel really vulnerable and scary to admit to anyone who actually knows us, anyone we have to interact with, that we are struggling with mental health issues, that we're struggling financially, that we're terrified to send our kids to school, that we're terrified to go to fucking parades, that there are communities of people in this country who have to fear walking out the door in their own skin every day. And it's got to stop. We have to figure out a way to stop this, and it's not going to happen if we're just being polite all the time and not, I mean, real word, see, flawed human. Real World's tagline was spot on. Let's stop being polite and start getting real, y'all. The early years were really awesome. Got kind of after that. I will love Pedro forever. So if you want to join me on this little social experiment of mine, if you feel the need for community, if you want to have someone who isn't going to judge you for anything, and I really mean anything. I have gone to the loony bin twice. I have friends who are sex workers, who are heroin addicts, who are military vets with major PTSD. It runs the gamut. There is no type of human that I wouldn't want to have a conversation with, except for a sociopath or narcissist, like some of the people in our government. Other than that, and billionaires, just the existence of billionaires is disgusting. Topic for a later discussion. Please, let me know. What do you want to talk about? And I'm happy to have one-on-one conversations. They don't have to happen publicly. But if you want to share your story, every single time every time I've really been vulnerable and raw and a little bit scared right before I hit post, without fail, I have had at least one person reach out to me to say, me too. I've been through something really similar, or I've struggled with the same thing, or I know how exhausting and debilitating depression can be. Okay. That was a very long introduction. Nice to meet y'all. Hope I get to talk to you soon.